When a woman looks you in the eye and says she doesn't respect you, that's not something you sweep under the rug, that's not something you negotiate, and it's definitely not something you ignore. Respect is the backbone of any healthy relationship. Without it, love can't survive. You see, affection might bring two people together, attraction might spark the connection, but it's respect that keeps everything alive and strong. When she openly admits she doesn't respect you, she's telling you that she doesn't value your role, she doesn't see your worth, and she doesn't believe in who you are as a man. That's a message you need to take seriously. Because here's the truth: a relationship without respect is like a house built on sand. It's only a matter of time before it collapses. Think about it. Respect means she listens when you speak, she values your opinions, and she sees you as an equal partner. Respect is shown in the way she talks about you when you're not around, in the way she supports your decisions, in the way she treats you in front of others. If she says she doesn't respect you, she's telling you that she doesn't see you as someone to be admired or followed, and that reveals everything about where the relationship is heading. Without respect, you'll find yourself constantly trying to prove your worth, constantly trying to earn her validation, and constantly chasing a kind of love that will never satisfy you. That's not love, that's torment. The danger in ignoring those words is that they don't go away. If she doesn't respect you, her actions will follow her words. She'll dismiss your opinions, mock your efforts, and disregard your boundaries. She may even compare you to other men as if to remind you that you'll never be enough for her. And the more you stay, the more you allow that disrespect to chip away at your confidence, at your self-esteem, and at your identity as a man. Respect is not a luxury, it's a requirement. And the moment you allow someone to strip it from the relationship, you're signing up for pain, disappointment, and endless conflict. Now, some men hear those words and immediately go into fixing mode. They think, if I just work harder, if I just show her more, if I just do everything right, maybe she'll respect me again. But that's the trap. You can't beg for respect. You can't earn it from someone who has already decided you don't deserve it. Once she says it, she's already revealed the truth in her heart. Respect is not something you pull out of someone by force. It either flows naturally or it doesn't exist at all. And here's where self-worth comes into play. When a woman says she doesn't respect you, your reaction tells the whole story. A man who values himself doesn't argue, doesn't beg, and doesn't plead. He listens, he accepts, and he walks away. Not because it's easy, but because he knows that no relationship can survive without mutual respect. Staying would only mean you're agreeing to settle for less than you deserve. Leaving means you're protecting your dignity, your peace, and your future. It's also important to realize that respect is tied to attraction. A woman who doesn't respect you can't truly love you. She might use you, she might tolerate you, she might even stay with you out of convenience, but real love, that can't exist without admiration. A soulmate, a true partner, will respect you even when she disagrees with you, even when you make mistakes, even when life gets hard. She'll see your effort, your integrity, your consistency, and that respect will never fade. So, if she tells you she doesn't respect you, believe her. Don't sugarcoat it. Don't hope she'll change your mind. Don't hang around trying to convince her. Take it for what it is, a clear sign that this relationship is not the one for you. Respect is non-negotiable, and the moment she tells you she can't give it, that's your moment to leave. Well, a man who values himself never stays where he's not respected. When a woman looks at you and says, "I never loved you," it cuts deeper than almost anything else. Those words carry a weight that no man should ever ignore because they reveal something about her heart that you can't change, no matter how hard you try. Love is the foundation that every relationship is built on. You can work on communication, you can improve understanding, you can even grow together through challenges, but if love was never there in the first place, then everything you're trying to build is sitting on an empty foundation. And when someone tells you that they never loved you, what they're really saying is that the connection you thought you had wasn't real to them in the same way it was to you. That realization can crush a man if he allows it to. Because we invest not just time and effort into relationships, but our emotions, our dreams, and our sense of identity. To hear those words is to suddenly feel like everything you believed was a lie. But here's where your mindset matters. You can choose to see it as the ultimate betrayal, or you can choose to see it as the ultimate clarity. Because while it hurts, those words set you free. They reveal the truth without masks, and they give you the opportunity to stop wasting your time in a place where love never truly existed. A woman who says she never loved you is telling you that her heart was never fully in it. Maybe she was with you out of comfort, maybe out of loneliness, maybe because it was convenient at the time. But love, that deep, unshakable, soul anchoring feeling, that wasn't there. And you cannot create love where it doesn't exist. You can't buy it with effort, you can't beg for it with words, and you can't demand it with time. If it wasn't there from the beginning, it never will be. And the longer you stay, the more you'll find yourself giving and giving while getting nothing real in return. This is why those words should never be brushed off. Too many men hear them and immediately try to argue back. But what about the times we shared? What about the things you said before? What about the memories? They start clinging to the hope that maybe she didn't mean it. Maybe she's just angry. Maybe she'll take it back later. But when a woman tells you she never loved you, believe her. Don't look for loopholes. Don't make excuses. Don't hold on to the possibility that she'll change her mind. Because love isn't something that switches on and off. If it wasn't there, it wasn't there, and no amount of wishful thinking will make it appear. Now here's the hard truth. Staying with someone who admits they never loved you is the fastest way to destroy yourself. You'll spend your days doubting your worth, questioning your every move, and trying desperately to win over a heart that was never yours. That's emotional slavery, and it will drain your energy, your confidence, and your ability to love yourself. Walking away, on the other hand, is how you reclaim your strength. It's how you remind yourself that you deserve more than someone's convenience. You deserve someone's love. A relationship should be a partnership built on genuine affection, respect, and care. If love isn't at the core, then everything else will eventually collapse. And if she tells you it was never there, she's doing you a favor by showing you the truth now instead of letting you waste years chasing a fantasy. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it feels like the ground beneath you is crumbling, but in reality, it's an invitation to build something real elsewhere with someone who sees you, values you, and truly loves you. So when a woman says she never loved you, don't argue, don't beg, and don't wait around hoping she'll change her story. Take her words at face value, thank her silently for the honesty, and walk away with your dignity intact. Because no man should stay in a place where love never existed. When a woman says, I don't respect you, those 4 words carry an enormous truth about where you stand in the relationship. Respect is the backbone of any meaningful bond. Without respect, there is no trust, no admiration, and no solid ground for love to grow. You can have attraction, you can even have moments of passion, but if respect is absent, the relationship is already broken at its core. Because here's the reality. A woman can only truly love a man she respects, and once that respect is gone, or if it never existed, you are fighting a losing battle. When she tells you directly that she doesn't respect you, she's showing you that in her eyes, you don't hold the qualities that make her admire you or look up to you. And make no mistake, women are naturally drawn to strength, confidence, and decisiveness. Respect isn't demanded, it's earned by the way you live, the way you carry yourself, and the boundaries you uphold. If she says she doesn't respect you, it means somewhere along the way, she stopped seeing you as a man who stands firmly in his own power. Maybe you bent too much trying to please her. Maybe you lost yourself by chasing, begging, or tolerating behaviors you shouldn't have. Or maybe she simply never saw those qualities in you to begin with. Whatever the reason, if respect isn't there, the relationship is doomed. Too many men hear those words and try to prove themselves. They think, if I just do more, if I just show her how much I care, if I just explain myself, she'll respect me again. But respect doesn't work that way. You can't negotiate your way back into her admiration. You can't beg someone to see you as strong, as valuable, as worthy of respect. Respect comes from the way you carry yourself, from your ability to stand on your principles, and from your willingness to walk away when you're not treated right. Ironically, when you stay in a relationship after being told you aren't respected, you're only confirming why she lost respect for you in the first place. Respect is tied to leadership, strength, and self-worth. Women want a man they can look up to, someone who is secure in himself and refuses to compromise his dignity for the sake of temporary approval. If she openly admits she doesn't respect you, that's her saying she doesn't see those qualities in you, and trying to convince her otherwise only lowers your value in her eyes. At that point, the healthiest choice you can make is to take her words as the truth and remove yourself. Because the longer you stay, the deeper the disrespect will grow, and disrespect never shrinks over time. It multiplies until it poisons everything between you. Think about it. How can love survive when one person looks down on the other? How can trust exist when one person doesn't see the other as dependable, capable, or strong? A relationship without respect isn't a partnership. It's a slow erosion of your confidence and your identity. And that's why her words are a warning sign you should never ignore. They're telling you that the foundation is broken, and no matter how much effort you put in, it won't be rebuilt unless she truly sees you differently. The problem is, once respect is lost, it almost never comes back. And even if it does, it's rarely genuine. It's usually temporary and conditional. So instead of fighting for crumbs of validation, you owe it to yourself to step away. Because you deserve a woman who respects you for who you are, who values your presence, and who sees you as someone she can trust and admire. So when she says she doesn't respect you, don't argue, don't explain, and don't stay hoping she'll change her perspective. Take those words as final, because without respect, there is no love worth keeping. The strongest move you can make is to walk away with your dignity and choose a future where respect and love exist together. When a woman tells you you're too controlling, that's not just a passing complaint, it's a clear red flag about how she feels in the relationship. Control is often born out of insecurity. It comes from a place where a man feels the need to monitor, restrict, or constantly direct a woman's actions to feel safe or to maintain the illusion of power. But here's the truth. Love and control cannot exist in the same space. Love thrives in freedom, in trust, and in mutual respect. If she feels suffocated or trapped, she won't see you as her partner. She'll see you as her warden. And once that dynamic sets in, it's only a matter of time before she pulls away completely. Many men don't realize they're being controlling because in their minds they're just being protective, setting standards, or leading the relationship. But there's a big difference between leadership and control. Leadership inspires respect and admiration, while control breeds resentment and rebellion. If you find yourself dictating who she talks to, what she wears, where she goes, or constantly needing reassurance of where she stands, you're not building a bond, you're building a cage. And no woman wants to live in a cage, no matter how much she cares about you. When she calls you controlling, it's her way of telling you she feels stripped of her individuality. A healthy relationship should never require someone to lose themselves in order to keep the peace. She wants to be free to make choices, to be her authentic self, and to know that you trust her enough to stand on her own. If you constantly question her loyalty, criticize her independence, or try to limit her freedom, she won't feel valued, she'll feel owned. And ownership is not love. Now, some men hear this and immediately go into defense mode. I'm not controlling, I just care. But caring doesn't mean micromanaging someone's life. True care means supporting her while trusting her. It means respecting her choices, even if they aren't the same as yours. It means allowing her to breathe and grow instead of clipping her wings. The moment she feels like she's losing her freedom because of you, she will start to resent the relationship. And resentment, once it builds, rarely fades away. Here's the painful part. Once she openly tells you that you're too controlling, it's usually not the first time she's felt this way. It's just the first time she's said it so directly. Chances are she's been feeling this for a while, and that's why her attraction, her energy, and her affection may have already started to fade. By the time she puts it into words, it's her way of signaling that she's already thinking about an exit. If you ignore her or try to tighten your grip even more, you're only accelerating the end. And this is where many men make the critical mistake. They double down. They think, if she's pulling away, I need to control her more to keep her close. But that strategy always backfires. The more you try to hold on, the more she feels the need to escape. Control may give you a temporary sense of security, but it guarantees long-term destruction of the relationship. So what's the right move? When a woman tells you that you're too controlling, don't argue, don't justify, and don't try to negotiate. Believe her. Take it as a sign that the relationship has crossed into unhealthy territory. Because if you continue down that path, she won't just lose respect for you, she'll lose herself. And she won't tolerate that for long. The strongest thing you can do in that moment is recognize that love requires freedom, not control. And if she doesn't feel free with you, she's not the right woman for you. Or you're not in the right place emotionally to love her in a healthy way. If she says you're too controlling, don't stay and try to prove her wrong. Step back, because real love doesn't need chains to hold it together. When a woman tells you, I don't respect you, that is one of the clearest and most painful signals you could ever receive in a relationship. Respect is the foundation of attraction, love, and long-term commitment. Without respect, everything else, chemistry, passion, and even love, eventually falls apart. A woman may tolerate a lot, she may forgive mistakes, and she may give chances when she sees effort, but the moment she loses respect, the relationship is living on borrowed time. And once that respect is gone, it rarely ever comes back. Respect is not about dominance, money, or control. It's about how you carry yourself, the standards you set for your life, and the way you hold firm to your values. A man who respects himself naturally earns respect from others, including the woman in his life. But when you compromise your self-worth, when you beg, chase, or tolerate behavior that goes against your boundaries, you chip away at her respect piece by piece. And when she finally says it outright, she's not just expressing a moment of frustration, she's declaring the truth she's been feeling for a long time. A woman cannot admire a man she doesn't respect. She may feel sympathy for him, she may even care about him on some level, but attraction cannot survive without respect. And that's where so many men get it wrong. They think they can love harder, buy gifts, or give endless attention to win her back, but respect is not something you can purchase or beg for. It's something you command through the way you live and the way you value yourself. Think about it. If you allow her to walk over you, dismiss your feelings, or treat you as an option instead of a priority, you're teaching her that you don't respect yourself. And if you don't respect yourself, why should she? Respect is earned by the strength of your boundaries, by standing firm in your principles, and by refusing to tolerate what diminishes you. The moment you let go of those things, you signal weakness. And weakness in the eyes of a woman erodes respect faster than anything else. When she says, I don't respect you, she's telling you she no longer sees you as the strong, grounded, reliable man she once admired. Maybe you became too needy, too controlling, too insecure, or too dependent on her validation. Maybe you allowed the relationship to shift into a place where her words and actions carried more weight than your own standards. Either way, her respect has slipped away, and without it, she cannot continue to love you in the same way. This is why respect is so critical. It's the unspoken glue that holds attraction together. You can be funny, charming, and even good looking, but if she doesn't respect you, she won't look at you with desire. She'll look at you with pity, or worse, indifference. And no man should settle for that. So when those words come out of her mouth, don't argue, don't beg, and don't plead for another chance, because the very act of begging only proves her point further. It shows weakness, desperation, and a lack of self-worth. The most powerful response is to walk away, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with the quiet confidence of a man who understands that he deserves respect in his relationship. And if it's not there, it's not the right place for him to stay. A woman says she doesn't respect you, believe her and move on, because respect is not negotiable. It is the heartbeat of love, and without it, the relationship cannot survive. When a woman tells you, I don't love you anymore, it cuts deeper than almost anything else. Love is the core of connection, the spark that keeps two people bonded through challenges, through growth, through everything that life throws at them. But when she openly says she doesn't feel love anymore, it is not something to argue with, not something to convince her out of, and certainly not something to ignore. Those words are the truth she has already accepted inside of herself, and once spoken, they rarely leave room for repair. Love does not just vanish overnight. When a woman tells you she no longer loves you, it usually means the emotional detachment has been happening for a long time. She has probably given hints, shown disinterest, pulled away emotionally, or distanced herself physically, but often men ignore these signals, thinking the connection is still solid. By the time she says it directly, she has already crossed that invisible line in her heart. She's already processed the loss, and in her mind, the relationship is over. This is where a lot of men make mistakes. They panic. They beg, they plead, they promise to change, they chase harder than ever. But here's the truth. The more you chase someone who has told you they don't love you, the faster they'll run. Because love is not something you can force. It's not something you can negotiate. If she doesn't feel it, nothing you do in that moment will bring it back. Love is voluntary, and when it disappears, it's gone for good. And yet, many men hold on to hope, replaying memories in their head, reminding her of the good times, trying to reignite feelings by doing grand gestures or showering her with affection. But what they fail to realize is that love is not built by desperation. It's built by respect, consistency, attraction, and emotional connection. Once she says she no longer loves you, it means one or more of those foundations has been broken, and the bond can't be restored simply by wanting it more. The hardest part is accepting the truth, but acceptance is also the most freeing step you can take. When a woman tells you she doesn't love you anymore, she is giving you clarity. She is releasing you from a bond that only existed one-sided. And as painful as it feels, it's better to know than to live in denial, clinging to a connection that only exists in your mind. Walking away in that moment is not weakness, it is strength. It shows that you value yourself enough not to cling to someone who has already let go. It proves that your self-worth does not depend on whether another person loves you or not, and it gives you the chance to heal, to grow, and to find someone who will truly see you, appreciate you, and love you fully. Love should never be begged for, because true love flows naturally. It doesn't require convincing or constant reassurance. When she says those words, it is not the end of your worth, your attractiveness, or your ability to love again. It is only the end of that chapter, and perhaps the most important reminder that you deserve love that is strong, mutual, and unwavering. So if she ever looks you in the eye and says, I don't love you anymore, believe her, respect her honesty, and walk away with dignity, because clinging to someone who no longer loves you will only destroy your own heart, and you deserve so much more than that.